Greetings and welcome to Growth Hacking Secrets. I'm your host, Mohammed Siddique from Atlanta, Georgia, and the co author of New Success Secrets available on Amazon. On this episode, we have a special guest, Ron Barshop. Ron is the CEO of Beacon Clinics. Please join me to give a warm welcome to our guest, Ron Barshop.
Thank you, Mohammed.
Ron, welcome.
Glad to be here.
Let me start with this, Ron. Where were you? What happened? Who you were surrounded with that inspired you to start your Beacon Clinics?
I was with another partner, and we were thinking about starting a second healthcare company, and we decided to compete with each other because we had different visions. So it was about maybe 12 or 15 years ago.
You decided to compete with him and then you became a partner, or you just decided to compete against him?
No, we just decided to compete with each other. So we started a little. I started a little behind him. So, but I started because I saw a need in the market. There was nobody addressing the need for primary care physicians to have allergy practice inside their own practice to add revenue and more services.
Mhm. Wonderful. So when you are starting a business, what are the top 3 mistakes to avoid?
Undercapitalization is number one for sure. If you're not interested in business development, you better get interested real fast because everybody is selling in a new company. And the third is to pick people smarter than me. My company runs itself because I have people much smarter than me running it now.
So what's the mistake? They don't hire people smarter than themselves?
Yeah, if you're a B player, they'll hire a C player. If they're a C player, they'll hire D players. So I try to hire people with skills way different from my own that are much better than me at so many different things that they don't need me.
How does it feel to be insecurity? Oh my God, someone is a much higher knowledge and then you don't feel insecure?
I don't feel insecure. That's what most CEOs' mistake is they feel insecure. And I have no problem bringing people into a room. I like to be the dumbest guy in the room.
Oh yeah, wonderful. I love that analogy. So if you are the smartest person in the room, you are in the wrong room. That's what you're saying?
Exactly.
Okay. What are your greatest failure story? What did you learn and how did you recover from it?
Human pride. I I can always trace it back to human pride. I think I know more than I do, or I think I can do more than I can. I overestimate my abilities because I've got an ego. So my ego is my frailty, and I've just always got to keep it in check by being humble and making fun of myself as much as possible.
Okay, this is good. So what are your top 3 success secrets others can model from?
I already said one of them: hire people smarter than me. That's probably the most important one. Number two, I have a screen. There's a gentleman named Richard Russell, and he wrote a column that was called the Ideal Business. And every business I've ever bought or built or taken over, I run through this screen, and it gives a point for 12 different categories. So if you have a good business model, that can overcome a lot of dumb things that you can do. So I've always had a business model that scores out of 12, maybe 10 or 11. And you can just make so many mistakes because the model itself is more resilient. Most people that I have asked this quiz of have a 5 or a 6. And so they have a fragile business model. So hire good people, get a good business model, and then capitalize properly. Don't overestimate how much it takes to get a company started.
Wonderful. So we are about to start some like a lightning round, quick question and quick answers. Are you ready?
Yes.
Some are personal question too, just you know that. So
Sure.
Okay, let's go for it. What are you grateful for today?
My health.
Wonderful. How young are you?
61.
Ron, you are not 61. You are 18 years old with a 43 years experience.
I completely agree, Mohammed. You and I are on the same page.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What you want to do when you grow up?
Serve God.
How do you overcome a challenge that life throws at you?
I don't take much too seriously. 90% of what I used to worry about never was worth worrying about. So I put it in its proper context, and I don't overweigh it in my worry categories.
How do you start your day?
I read probably 2 to 3 hours, and then I start blogging, and I like to read and write. That's how I stay sharp.
What is the advice you will give it to your younger yourself?
That's such a good question. I think I said earlier, be humble.
Once you have a revenue generating idea, how do you convince your significant other?
I never have had to. They usually trust me.
Looks like you don't want to share with us,
Yeah, I don't really have any. Nothing came to mind when you asked that question, Mohammed.
Okay. So they never question your judgment?
I'm sorry?
The significant other never question your judgment?
All the time, but they trust my business judgment.
Okay. Okay. What is the impactful book you have read and what did you learn from it?
Viktor Frankl, I think it's called Man's Search for Meaning.
What did you learn from it?
Everything about life is attitude. You can be in a concentration camp, and if you have a good attitude, you can actually make the best of the worst possible imaginable conditions. So if you want good mental health, just constantly be grateful and be in the now. I mean, it was a beautiful book about presence, being present.
Mm-hmm. Why being impactful is so important to you? Creating an impact is important to you.
Well, my father had on his tombstone, he made a difference. I would love to have the same on my tombstone. Who wants to go through life and not make waves? I want to make a difference in people's life. I want to have a big funeral. I want people to remember me fondly. I taught a Bible class, and I asked all of the kids, maybe over 100 kids over the period of years I taught, how many of you can name all of your grandparents? None of them could. I want to be one of those grandparents they can name.
You won't be there. Why the big funeral is important to you? You can't see them. Who came and who didn't come?
I'll see them from a better place, not from here.
Yeah, wonderful. Who is your mentor and what's the impact?
Oh gosh, my father was my first, my grandfather before that. I had a gentleman in Dallas who was the largest shopping center developer. He was my third. I had a dean of the business school of Texas. He was my fourth. I had a CEO of an insurance company. He was my fifth. I've had so many mentors, it'd be hard to say. It's literally a very long, and I feel sorry for women because women don't have that same opportunity that we have because of the pressures sexually and the tension sexually between a man and a woman. And older women who are successful tend to be jealous of the younger, more beautiful woman. So I just feel very lucky to have been born a man for that very reason.
What do you want to be remembered for?
Well, my mission is I am light. So I want to be remembered as someone who brought light to whether it was awareness and illumination, or whether it lightened their load by being around me, or helped them have a more joyful life. So I am light. It all would emanate from that.
Who is your ideal client?
Anybody who has allergies, which is, almost half of Texas.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How can we support you?
I'm pretty good, but thank you for the offer. But I can't. Nothing comes to mind, Mohammed. That's a very nice offer.
Go visit the website beaconclinics.com if you have allergy and you are in Texas, or you know someone who has allergy.
Are you what? Say the question again.
I'm just talking to my audience. And if you are in Texas and you have allergy, you visit the beaconclinics.com. Or if you don't have, you're a lucky one, you don't have the allergy, then you probably know someone in your family or someone, a friend. Visit the beaconclinics.com. Thank you so much. And Ron, just a quick words about your guest experience on the show. What would you say about your today's guest experience on the show?
I enjoyed myself, and I'm glad you're doing the show. This sounds like a good service for people.
What would you say as a final word?
Light.
Light. Thank you so much, Ran, for sharing your wisdom with us today on the behalf of Growth Hacking Secrets community and our entire team. We really appreciate you. This is Mohammed Siddique signing off from Atlanta, Georgia. Until the next episode, all good wishes.